reason for her sorrow and for her pain. How many of you are sleeping with the people who are causing your sorrow and your pain? She slept in the same bed with the man who was the reason for her sorrow. He is the enemy to her. Someone is causing you your pain and your turmoil, and you are laying in the bed with them knowing this. I don't know if she knew down the line if David was the one who killed her husband, or even if she did, she still stayed around with him, and in losing her first child, she had a second child, and his name was Solomon. Some of you are sitting with or hanging with the people who are causing you your very sorrowful, your very shame, your very pain, and the tears that fall in your bed. And God is saying, how long will you sit there and sleep with the enemy? One who's making you have pity parties. One who's making you question why I made you, or question how you look, or who's knocking down your self-esteem and your confidence. How long will you sit there and engage yourself with the enemy? Hang with them. I want you to remove yourself and allow them not to lead you and detour you off of who I created you to be. How many of you are going to walk with people who are talking behind your back and you know it? But you're saying, Paul, I don't have friends. Paul, no man will ever love me. Paul, I can't be a single man in my life. My friends got girlfriends. And would you rather be single and happy, friendless and happy, or rather have all the power, all the company in the world, and be miserable in your own skin? How much longer will you continue to sleep with the enemy? How much longer will you begin to hang with people who are telling you these things that are not of God? I cannot hang around a person who I know and am close with, who despises my father, my brother, and the porter of my house. Now, I hear unbelievers speak foul of God. That's okay, that's good. I don't know them. I don't have to see them once and whatever. But I'd be daggone if my friends, if people I know, if the woman I'm with, or if the family that I have refuse and they begin to talk bad about my father and try to leave me astray to tell me God ain't real. Some of you got Muslim friends. Oh, Paul, it's cool to have Muslim friends. Yeah, it's cool. See, I'm shell-shocked at the situation on the hand. I'm not telling you that not to engage yourself with people or not to show them the light of Christ. What I'm showing you is not, we should not engage ourselves with people who tell me that my God is not real. For if I have a Muslim friend and we are the best of friends, I'm not talking about a co-worker, I'm not talking about a person I see here and there, I'm not talking about someone who I just met, whom God wants me to witness to. I'm talking about those who we call our sisters, who we call our brothers, who we call cousins, who we call our mother, who we call our father, those who we hung around and we are grow accustomed to. I'm talking about those who we say it's cool to go to the mosque together. It's cool to have the Quran in my house. And then you wonder why your life is upside down. Wonder why things are not going right because you're indulging yourself with people who do not believe in your God, that He is real. And I'm not saying drop everybody to believe in your God, but if I have someone who is close to me and is my friend and they tell me that my God is real, it's not real, we have to part ways. Because the longer you're around, you will have a more effect on me because we are friends or that we are family. So I'm going to remove myself from you and I will continue to pray for you. We should not do them things when people try to contaminate us in a way. You may say, Paul, you're too harsh. Paul, you want me to become like the Pharisees in the Bible, to become religious. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying, if anyone who tells you that your God is not real, or that even your God's ways are wrong, or that Jesus didn't really die, and Jesus said it's okay to smoke a little bit, to drink a little bit, to party a little bit, strip a little bit. They tell you that? They tell you it's cool to pop a Molly. It's cool to have many baby mothers. It's cool to do these things because God will provide. Don't put yourself in a problem just so that God can pull you out. For Jesus was on the pinnacle, and Satan said, jump. Did not God say that the angels should have charge over thee? Your foot will not even touch a stone. And he said, I will not tempt the Lord thy God. Sleeping with the enemy. Someone of that husband of yours, that wife of yours, that child of yours, that friend of yours, that neighbor of yours is causing you pain and sorrow. And God said, how long will you sit there and cry tears of pity in front of me? How long will you begin to allow this person to fill you with false facts about me? Paul explained to us how to deal with people in such ways. How to deal with the enemy in our camp, and how we are not to sleep with the enemy. Paul began to show us this. Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible, my favorite chapters in the Bible, is Paul has built this church in Corinthia along with Priscilla and Aquila, and he became acquainted with the Corinthians. And Paul, he's out of town at this time, wherever he's at. He hears of this son married to his father's wife. And the church covers this up. They allow the son to be married to the father's wife. And they covered it all up. Paul comes back and he sees this treason in such a way. He sees this sin in the camp. He sees that they are obeying the enemy in their house and looking for God to bless them. So Paul began to tell them, listen, I'm going to deal with this issue right here. Since you won't deal with it, I'll deal with it. I will judge this man as if I was here. Paul said, you should have handed him over to the enemy, to the devil, that his flesh might be destroyed and his soul might be saved on the day of the Lord Jesus Christ. He said, I wrote to you in an epistle not to associate with people who are sinners and those who are adulterers and those who are idolaters and all those. If that was the case, then you had to be moved from the earth. If I was speaking of you, not hanging around the sinners and the unbelievers of the world, then I'm going to take you from the earth. But now, let me make it more clear to you. Do not associate yourself with anyone who calls himself a brother and who is agreed, who has covetous in his heart, who's a fornicator, who's an idolater, who's a liar, who's an extorter. Do not even eat with such a person. This is what Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, 1-13. That's what he tells us. Paul tells us to remove. Paul tells us that we need to hand the enemy over to Satan and remove ourselves from them. He says, don't even eat with such a person. Remove yourself from the dinner table. Remove yourself from the living room. Remove yourself from the lunchroom table. Remove yourself from that car. If you got to catch the bus, catch the bus. If you got to get up early enough, get up early enough. Do not even associate yourself with a person who calls himself a brother and who commits a heinous sin and keeps doing it because they are telling you that is okay. For if I see my brother is fornicating, my sister is fornicating, and God, I don't know what to do, then I will say in myself that is okay. Paul knew the effects of sleeping with the enemy. He knew the effects of obeying with the enemy. He knew the effects. You need to remove yourself from such a person and hand him over to the enemy who is the devil, that his flesh might be destroyed. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, they're going to talk about you. Yes, they're going to gossip about you. But I'd rather be safe and I'd rather please God and have man hate me than to please man and have God angry with me. I'd rather that be the case. If you're worried about what they're going to say about you, they talked about Jesus. For he said, if the world hates you, remember they hated me first. So be it that they hate you. So be it they say, how can you act like this? So be it they call you too religious. So be it. God said, remove yourself from such a person who calls himself a brother, who sins. I know you tried your best and you did what was right by removing yourself from the unbelievers who committed sins and did not want to hear of God. But now those in the camp, those who hang around, those who are Christians along with you are doing the same as that day. So I want you to remove yourself from them or remove them from you. Because obeying the enemy, keeping the enemy around in your life will cause you to miss out on what God has for you. How many of us really want what God has for us? Some of us cannot get it because we are obeying the enemy. We're dodging with the enemy. Well, Paul, my husband is my enemy. What should I do? Paul, my children are, my child is my enemy. Paul, what should I do? My mother's my enemy. Paul, what should I do? My wife is my enemy. Paul, my wife is my enemy. Paul, what should I do? I asked the Lord. I said, Lord, what is the purpose behind this lesson? I was afraid to do the lesson because of what it meant. It seems to be so powerful, so home hitter. And he said, Paul, what I want to go on is I want the people to listen to the Spirit of God. I want them to listen to him inside. I know you don't believe in divorce. I know you love your husband, you love your wife, you love your children, you love your mother, you love your friends. I'm not telling you to get a divorce. I'm not telling you to leave your family behind or abandon them. The fact that you are in this tight bond that God has shown me, and you know that you you made the wrong decision and you're trying to figure out what to do. God says, listen to the Spirit. I will tell you what to do. That's for those who it really hit home for, and they realize that their child is leading or trying to lead them astray, or trying to say God is not real, or their mother and them saying God is not real, or their spouse saying that God is not real. That is the answer that God has for you. That you listen to the Spirit inside. That you listen to the Spirit inside. That you listen to the Spirit inside. God tells the children of Israel who their enemies were. Only God can expose to you and tell you who your enemies are. He will tell you the enemies. Whoever he exposed to you as an enemy is one who is a threat to your purpose. See, not all of your enemies are threats to your purpose. Peter was a threat to Jesus' purpose, but Judas wasn't. That's why he calls Judas friend and Peter the devil. He will expose you to those who will hold you back from your purpose. Only he knows. And he will reveal it unto you when you seek it. The children of Moab, the people of Moab, those of Moab, led Israel astray, led them to the point where they were struck down by a plague by God. Because they served another God. They broke the first commandment. Had no other God before me. Have no graven and carved images of me. Honor my Sabbath day. Do not take my name in vain. The book of Corinthians chapter 7, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 speaks of people who are married. Now, you may have read it. Now, if you are not married and you are a Christian, do not marry an unbeliever. I don't care how much you love them, how much they say they're going to go to church if you marry them. Do not marry them, for you be unequally yoked. And Paul makes that clear. Now, if you're a Christian and you marry an unbeliever, you're sleeping with the enemy, you're marrying the enemy, which makes you unequally yoked. Now you may be saying, well, Paul, the Bible doesn't say all that. It does say that. For it speaks about the married couple who's already married and who were unbelievers, and one of them gets saved in doing so. And the Bible says that the person that is saved, God favors the other one who's not saved because they're not unequally yoked. Do not be unequally yoked. It's not cool for you to be a Christian to marry an unbeliever. It's not cool for you to be a Christian to marry a Catholic or to marry someone who does not share your belief that Jesus Christ is the Messiah and that the Spirit of God is the one that we should follow. It's not cool for you to be a Christian and to marry a Muslim. To be a Christian to marry an atheist. To be a Christian to marry a Buddhist. To be a Christian to marry a Hindu. It's not proper for you to do such a thing. For you will be seen with the enemy, for they will lead you astray, or they will hinder back what God has for you. Now, I'm not talking about those who are married and they got saved while they're married. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those who are single or who are engaged. If they do not believe in Jesus Christ, and they're making all these promises unto you that they will be saved, if they promise you that they will be saved, rather than getting saved now, then they should tell you all about it right then and there. Joseph also tells us how to deal with the enemy. Joseph is in Potiphar's house. He's a ruler of Potiphar's house. Potiphar gave him all the favor in the world to handle all of his affairs. Okay? And Potiphar's wife sees him and she wants him to wax on, wax off it. Joseph says, no, it's not right. For Potiphar kept you from me for a reason, and that's it. So night after night, day after day, she entices Joseph. She seduces him. She tempts him every possible way. Joseph kept saying no. One day, while they was alone in the room, Joseph walked in. She said, come on, lie with me, Joseph. Have your way with all of this. Joseph said, well, not today, buddy. And she grabbed him into the bed. Joseph spun out of his clothes and ran, leaving behind his jacket. Joseph shows us that we are to never give in to the enemy. Even though he saw that body just dripping down with oil, smelling all good, he did not give in to them Twinkies. Why? Because Joseph knew that I am a man of God, and if I sleep with another man's wife, then she will mess up my purpose, mess up my relationship with God, cause me to sin a sin that I don't have to commit. Are you sleeping with the enemy? If you are, the destruction is on its way. For you are obeying someone who defiles and despises the truth of God. And this is Israel's problem. This is the Church of Corinthians' problem. This was Sodom's problem. They indulged themselves with people who were distracting them and preventing the word, the promise of God, the purpose of God, preventing miracles from coming in. You know, one person can cause a miracle not to happen. And I'll give you an example before I get out your way. Moses cried to God, said, God, they're ready to kill me. They're thirsty. I can't do nothing. And God's angry with Moses for even questioning him about this. He said, Moses, what is that in your hand? Moses said, it's a staff. God said, get up, go get the elders of the land, and circle us around them. And I want you to hit this rock. And hitting the rock, the water will come out. God could not work through a doubtful individual. So he had to surround Moses with people of faith. And in doing so, he worked through the elders of the land. Your enemy is holding back your miracle, your healing, your blessing. We need to follow the Spirit of God, who leads us in how to deal with things, how to handle things, what to do and what not to do. He leads us to show us what to do. But some of us are not even following the porter of the house. Porter of the house. We're on the first name basis, I can call him that. The porter of the house. And God wants you to obey the Spirit of God, for the Spirit of God is the voice of God. He searches the deep things of God. The Bible says, yay, in the deep things of God, which means He knows everything about you, inwardly and outwardly. He knows all that God has for you. He knows every possible thing.